Hi everyone, and this week we have another news release from the world of gymnastics. I recently talked with one person and I expressed my opinion, and I thought initially that this would be the most uninteresting and the most unviewed rubric on my channel, but it turned the other way around. So this is your favorite and probably one of the most fascinating and exciting rubrics. Today we will discuss the upcoming tournaments and the coolest news from the Russian national team, and how you can spend your free time. Also we will talk a little bit about the soonest Olympic Games. Overall, as you understand, we have a lot of news, so let's begin. And according to the tradition, before starting the video, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and put the thumbs up. This is very important. And also, if you like what am I doing and like my channel, then follow the link in the description and support the development of the channel, and thank you very much. Well, when the formal things are done, we will turn to the interesting one. We will start with the best news from the Russian national team. On the Instagram of the Russian Federation of Rhythmic Gymnastics, the very cool video was published, at which I laughed a lot and I watched it like 10 times already. I will not unintentionally enter this video, and you can follow the link in the description and see it by yourselves. It lasts only for 50 seconds and it doesn't take much time to watch. Briefly, the video showed some funny moments from Novogorsk. I would call this a bad shots or shots from the backstage of the trainings, but in general it's funny and it looks like the news with the hype headlines. Also, in Instagram, I really like the post of Ulrich Fassbender. This is a pretty well-known photographer in rhythmic gymnastics. He takes picture in a competition. Recently he posted a photos with the details of the Leotards and wrote that there is a steady trend since a few years for a quite sophisticated storytelling on Leotards. From romantic piano in a moon sunshine to dragons, fairy tales, rock music, metrics, and Japanese idyllic scenery. So you can see on the Leotards not only incomprehensible and explicit and abstract patterns, but also quite recognizable things such as piano, matrix, a panther, a guitar, palaces and people's faces, Japanese landscape. Even for Harry Potter's lovers, there is a Leotards. I'm madly in love with the whole universe of Harry Potter, so this Leotards is especially cool. Write in comments if you like Harry Potter and what other beautiful Leotards you remember in details, and maybe it might be worth making a separate video with a selection of such works of art. In the meantime, the World Cup in Sofia has just ended and the next international tournament will take place in Sofia too, and it is going to be on the 4th of April, and it seems it could have passed unnoticed, but no, the list of participants were published and it will be no less interesting. In the preliminary lists, Ekaterina Halkina from Belarus is declared. If you remember, she was originally announced for the previous World Cup, but at the last moment she was replaced, and I already thought that something terrible had happened. But apparently, Ekaterina was simply given a little more time to prepare. So, because of Ekaterina, it will be definitely necessary to watch. Well, in addition to her, Arina Krasnarudskaya, gymnast of Belarus, is also announced. Ukrainian gymnast Polina Karika and Leotards will also perform. Interesting gymnasts Tatiana Volozhanina, Yeva Brazilieva and Styriana Nikolova from Bulgaria were also announced. In general, it will be very interesting for seniors to perform which one of the gymnasts is stronger, and of course, these are not the only gymnasts who were announced, but only the top one. Also, the junior will compete on Sofia and Russian gymnasts were announced. I think until the last moment we can doubt whether they will perform or not, but at the current moment, the two best juniors of the Russian national team, Anna Popova and Alina Protasova, are on the lists. Also, judging by the past competition, it will be interesting to look at Alisa Tagliesi from Italy. Viola Sella is also an Italian gymnast. I think many of you remember Yelizaveta Zorkina from Belarus, and also from Belarus, Alina Rechkina will compete, but I don't know her yet. But we will see. And the gymnast who will perform for Ukraine will be Katerina Tsema. She is also familiar to us. In general, there are many girls that will be interesting to watch. In addition to the individual program, junior gymnasts will perform. In the group program, the competition will be held within 3 days. According to the schedule, all-round competition will be on the first 2 days, and on the last day, there will be finals of the certain apparatus. Now we will turn to more serious things. In the video about the World Cup in in Sofia, we talked about the license to the Olympics and that gymnasts are earning right now during the series of the World Cup. And I think that we need to clarify some things, because last time there were quite a few questions. So, going back in a few weeks. Prior to the Olympics, 4 stages of the World Cup series must be passed. 1 in Sofia has already passed based on the results of these tournaments. Gymnasts will gain points, and 3 gymnasts with the highest points will get the license for the Olympics. There are some requirements, though. It should be gymnasts from 3 different countries, and it should be gymnasts from countries who don't have license for Olympic Games. After the first stage passed, the leader in this race is the gymnast from Japan. Her name is Chisaki Oyava. This brings up some questions. So, Japan is the host country and it already has a quota for the Olympic Games. And you're probably right, but this quota is given for only 1 gymnast in the individual program and for the 1 team in the group program. But if only 1 team can perform in the group program, then in the individual one, as far as we all know, 2 gymnasts from the 1 country can perform on the Olympics. So Japanese has 1 place and they can get 1 more place in an individual program, according to the general accepted rules. This is why it is a success for Chisaki Ayova, even if she won the license not only for herself, but for her teammates. The second in the ranking is Tabina Tashkinbaeva from Uzbekistan, and on the 3rd place among the gymnasts who are applying for Olympics is taken by Hungarian gymnast Fanny Piknitsky. Also, 3 similar tournaments will be held, and based on the result of which, license for the Olympic Games will be raffled off. The next tournament will be in Tashkent from April 16th to 18th, and then from May 7 to May 9, a tournament in Baku will be held, and the last competition in this World Series will be in Pesaro from May 28 to May 30. So, if nothing changes, in just a couple of months we will know 3 more gymnasts who will perform in the Olympics. And also, here is a cool podcast that you absolutely must watch. An interview with Alexander Buklov was published on the Telesport YouTube channel. It lasts for an hour, but it is really interesting. Alexander talked about how they plan to further develop men's rhythmic gymnastics, not only in Russia but also in the rest of the world, and also about the competition between Spanish and Japanese direction of rhythmics gymnastics, which will apparently happen in the coming month. So there is a rumor that men's rhythmic gymnastics will appear already at the next European Championship, and it seems like the Spanish wants that men compete in the all-round competition with girls. In general, apparently the European Championship this year will be quite interesting. Alexander also talked about the history of men's gymnastics, about this direction of rhythmic gymnastics for boys and how it all works, about difficulties and why the Japanese direction should be promoted. We have already repeatedly discussed the men's rhythmic gymnastics, but since it's gaining popularity and interesting, and many people like what was happening during the 2 important championship of Russia, it would be cool to visit boys' trainings. In general, now I have thought in my head to do this. Write in the comments if you want something like this, and maybe one of you can help with the organization of such madness. I will be very glad. So that's all news for today. See you very soon. I will you intrigue a little bit. Soon something really cool and something very important will come out, and these are 2 different videos, and so wait, and remember that I love you all very much, and bye bye.